Hey guys, welcome to Sounds Like NYC, the only podcast dedicated to spotlighting New York City talent.
Well, you did that way too fast. Did you catch that? I didn't catch that.
I got it.
Oh,
I want to
Mike.
make sure everybody gets whiplash as soon as they jump into the podcast, basically.
Thank you for that.
And how rude.
What? I can't.
I
It's
don't
hot.
have water. She doesn't have
You
water.
should get some.
She has water.
Hydration is important.
Yeah.
Oh, I put mine back over
Oh,
there.
okay.
No, you don't have water. he decided to take that away from
Don't make me feel bad about.
Yes, feel bad with
About
one,
being hydrated.
with your one-piece hat. And today, we have Abi
Hi.
Rider.
Abi Rider. That
How
is
are you?
correct. I'm doing okay. How are you?
How are you,
Conducting
David?
a very bad interview intro, but tell us about yourself. You go to NYU.
I do. So I guess I'm not a first year student anymore. I just finished up my first year at the Clive Davis Institute at NYU, which makes me 19 years old and a quarter of the way through college.
That's a very analytical
Yes.
way about looking.
I know. I
Those
was
are
like,
those are facts, and you stated them.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I mean,
Is Clive Davis as fancy as it sounds?
Honestly, it's pretty fancy.
Yeah?
We got some nice facilities in there.
That's what I've heard.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to get Sonaida, who you're a friend of, or at least in the same major. Like you guys are friends, right?
Yeah,
You guys, okay,
yeah,
cool,
I would say
cool,
we're friends.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully.
She goes like, no, we're not.
No.
I don't know who this is.
But I was like trying, or like I was like joking with her that try to get me in there one day into like one of the recording
You know what?
studios.
Like genuinely, you know what my goal is?
What?
To make this as big as possible, where
So we
I
buy
get
the client.
no, where I get like an honorary degree without ever having to pay NYU any money, any semblance of money.
That's a concept. Like straight from Clive Davis himself.
Yes, I want him to come
Grant
Hey,
you a
it's
degree.
still alive.
and meet me.
Yeah.
Don't they usually name stuff after dead people?
None else like
No,
got a
he
fuck ton of
started the
money,
school.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
thank you, Mr. Clyde Davis.
Yeah, thank you.
What does he do? Because that just sounds like a
I think
jazz
something
musician
arts.
name, but
He is still an A&R. He's doing the same thing he's been doing his entire life.
Oh,
Real quick,
interesting.
because I'm stupid. What is
Okay.
A&R?
An A&R. Oh boy, you're testing
So
me.
back in the '90s, David, before.
No, there's
Yeah,
still
no.
A&Rs.
Yeah, no.
A lot of my friends are doing internships as an A&R. But
Oh, really? Okay.
to my knowledge, from my understanding, an A&R is the person who works with labels to find
The
new
next sucker.
talent. Yeah, basically.
Imagine I just take off my mask and I'm Clive Davis. Get out of my school.
Yeah.
Does he have the power?
Huh?
Just like say, no, you're not allowed to go to my school anymore.
Does he?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah,
He's a very powerful man, so
Yeah, probably.
if someone did something bad enough, probably.
Yeah, probably. But like, so why did you? Okay, so talking about school and why you're at NYU, tell us a bit about your story. Like, how did it begin for you with music, and how do you find yourself coming to NYU?
Okay, that's a multifaceted question. I'm gonna answer each one
A lot of bullet
separately.
points.
And include just like social security, credit card,
Okay,
When
got
you
it.
were
So,
conceived.
how you were conceived.
so anyways,
I'm so sorry we're like this. I don't know what's going on
I'm
today.
not
We're just
sorry at
like,
all.
but like continue.
okay. How I got into music. Honestly, I got into music because my sister had started doing music, and I was like, "That's cool. I want to do it too." And I never really thought much about it. I was really young. I was like 6, and I just did voice lessons. I didn't know anything about music or what style I was interested in, but it was fun. And then it became more than just fun. Like I became
Became serious.
Became
Yeah.
a god.
I became very enthralled by it, I guess. So, like it became something that made me feel a way that other things couldn't make me feel, because it was such an expressive form of communication. Especially singing is so personal. It's like using your own body to express your words in a way that only you can. So that's when I started singing. Then I started writing. I wrote my first song on my dad's birthday when I was like 9 or something. I don't know. I could be totally off.
I hate you, Dad.
No. It was like an "I love you, Dad" kind of song, but it was really bad.
Will you ever like record it like seriously or?
No,
Please.
I.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
It is like
Sounds like
I've
NYC exclusive.
Yeah.
I've heard songs from like other songwriters when they were young, and it sounds like a song. This doesn't sound like a song. You don't want to hear it. But anyways, I started writing. I wrote that song because I wanted to express exactly how I was feeling, and like use my own voice to express something unique to me. So I was like, why don't I just make a song myself? Then it will be exactly what I'm thinking.
Right.
And then,
As a singer, do you feel
Yeah.
like you're better than musicians or worse?
what do you mean?
Like instrumentalists.
Well, those are two completely different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you just carry it. You just pop it out like boom.
Oh, that's what you mean.
know what I
Oh,
mean?
like because it's more convenient that you
Yes.
can just do it. No, I really admire instrumentalists. I wish I was a better instrumentalist.
Well, that's why you're going to school, right?
Yeah. No, because I'm
find
studying
people to mooch
recording.
off of.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What?
Oh, to find people to mooch off of.
What do you mean?
Collaborations.
We do collaborate a lot.
That's a very cynical thing, cynical way about looking
It's
about
like-
it.
it's
well,
like,
we
you know-
we all like feed off of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
like
Symbiotic.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna
Symbiotic,
say
yeah.
like
Yeah.
parasites that feed off of each other, but not parasites. Like symbiotic.
Your sisters are parasites. Is
Like
is
those
what you're
manta
implying,
rays
right?
with like the little fishies
Yeah.
like next to them.
Yeah.
Like they just eat the scraps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's? Okay, let's not get into
Mr.
this.
Clive Davis. He's a big
This. Oh my. But yeah, as you were saying.
Okay, so that's when I wrote my first song. Then I started producing when I was like 13. I had a great songwriting mentor who actually at the time had graduated from the Clive Davis School and had started doing like an adjunct professor thing there. So I started working with him, and then he referred me to a friend of his who taught production. So that's when I started producing when I was around 13. And still that whole time I had no idea what genre I was interested in. I mean, I was like singing covers of pop songs on Instagram just because like that's what high school girls
yeah,
do, I guess.
people do.
But it wasn't until very recently that I found what style connected with me and brought all those elements of writing and singing and producing together into something that felt cohesive.
Yeah, and that is a very interesting style indeed, because I was very surprised when I like looked up some of your songs to hear you doing country out of all things. And I guess we were like talking about this before, and I guess we could like bleep this out if you don't want it to be revealed. But so I thought
pull
you
like
were
a-
from no, because so you do country and. But you're in New York, and
You're
I
from
had
the
thought,
north.
yeah, you're from New York and you're doing country. So how?
So how? The big question. So I actually had
Upstate. She's from upstate.
not very far upstate. I'm from. I just left my house like an hour and a half ago or something like that. So not
Westchester,
Very
David.
far. Yeah,
That's still upstate.
Yeah, I
like
know.
30 miles.
Yeah, New Yorkers.
Still
I mean,
upstate.
Yeah, well,
David-
upper.
okay. We're not gonna get into this now, David. You can rant about it some other day. He gets very passionate about this type of stuff. I'm so sorry.
Passionate.
Yeah.
It's just
I saw a meme that
fact.
everything north of Union Square is called upstate.
No,
like-
I feel like that's just somebody who moved from like California trying to
Yeah,
make it funny.
Trying to make it funny.
No,
yeah.
it's like if you're
It's the Bronx.
yeah. Dividing Line's the Bronx.
Yeah, upstate Bronx. Midway through Bronx, that's when
Yeah,
you start.
people from the Bronx can walk over to upstate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole different. Oh my God, that's a can of worms. But anyway, yeah. So like, how did you, being from not a place traditionally associated with country culture, get into country?
Okay, so I actually never listened to country music until high school, about 3 years ago now. And I started listening to it because I was like, if I want to be serious about music and this is something I want to do with my life, I need to be more educated on music in general. So I wanted to learn about different genres and the history. And I was like, I might as well start with the one that I know I'm going to hate. So I started with country music. I went back. Apple Music has playlists for each decade, going back like 100 years or something like that. So I went all the way back to the very beginning of like Americana folk music. And listened through every decade of the playlist that they had. And by the time I got to the recent ones, I was like, this is pretty good.
Country slaps.
Not gonna lie,
No,
yeah.
Everybody's
not gonna
wrong, bro.
lie.
Everybody's wrong.
Yeah. No, I mean, because, like, no, the meme that, country is terrible and stuff like that. But, like, really, it's just, like, the modern incarnation of, like, the super pop, country, which you could argue is kind of like, the crappy kind of country. But, like, stuff from, like, even, like, the early 2000s, essentially before Florida, Georgia line.
I don't have anything against Florida Georgia line.
No, me neither personally.
It
but
sounds like you do.
No, I'm just saying that bro country sort of thing is where people could like argue that like country really went
like
off the
frat
rails.
dude
Yeah, frat dude country essentially. But like
Interesting.
what's like your opinion about modern country?
So what I would say about it is the reason why country is very stigmatized, which is a weird word to associate with an entire genre, but it is stigmatized in New York, is because it's associated with a lot of cultural values that are not prevalent in New York. So there is a lot of that bro thing, like a lot of men talking about beer and trucks, and it's just not the lifestyle that people in New York are living. So it's not something that they can connect to. I actually read an interesting study on this for an essay last semester, which analyzed the main themes in country music, and it proved that
It's all beer and trucks. It's like 90%.
Yeah, it is a lot of that.
Form,
Yeah, there's a lot
It's just
of
a Budweiser commercial. 90% of
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of men talking about topics that are just like not relatable to people who don't live in rural areas or in the South specifically. But when I was listening to the history of it, I was shown only the songs that were deemed to be like the most important according to Apple Music. So I got to listen to the songs that really told deep stories and showed real musicianship, which that's another factor, is that country music recently, like you were saying, has kind of crossed the border into pop and even has like EDM elements now. So there's a lot going on, and that's very confusing to a lot of people. But when I was listening to the songs that were just the best stories and the best music, like the best musicianship, it was very captivating. And I had felt before that a lot of pop music had become like very surface level, like there wasn't a lot behind it. Yeah, basically. And I liked to get really deep and tell stories and connect to people, and that's what I saw in country music.
Yeah, because
touching base on that, I wanted to ask, like, how do you tell a story with music?
It's a hard question to answer because I feel like I've always been focused on the story. Like, I don't need to think, how am I going to tell this story? Just when songs come to me, they naturally are more story-based than concept-based, which I would say is another difference between pop music and country music, at least in my mind.
So do you feel like that's why you gravitated towards country? Because it just
probably like it tells a story. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, sorry. So I mean, I watch this one particular reviewer, music reviewer called like Todd in the Shadows. I don't know if you know who he is. You should check him out. Okay. But I remember him doing kind of like a deep dive, I think, about just like the nature of like modern country music, and like what I like took away from that was that in like country, it seems like the woman are kind of like, pioneers in a sense when it comes to, certain like songwriting aspects, like a certain bravado about the genre, and lyrically, you know they have like very kind of like narrative driven lyrics and just like that sort of thing. So I feel like it's like very cool where from the outside looking in, outsiders wouldn't really think country as like a super I don't know what's the right word to say. I want to say pro woman, or like, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
like,
I have a lot to say on that.
yeah. But like at least takeaway I got from his analysis was that women in country are a force to be reckoned with, and they have a certain power to them that you don't. I don't know. There's a certain reverence for the woman in the country game that you don't really see other other types of music.
Yeah, I love that. I'm definitely gonna check that out. So thanks for bringing it
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so I think a lot of that is probably also related to the fact that 90% of country radio play is by men. So there are all these women competing for space essentially, and they really need to have powerful stories and great musicianship if they want to compete, just because the genre has been very male favoring for its entire existence, pretty much. But yeah, that's what I love about country music, is there are so many women with such important stories to say, and that's been pioneered since the very beginning.
Yeah.
Mother Maybelle was like the original. She's called Mother for a reason. She was like the original female country musician, and then her predecessors or her
Successors.
That was the word. Like Loretta Lynn, for example. Who else? I mean, there are so many people, but they have continued to tell these stories, and I think the women now, like Maren Morris, Ingrid Andress, Kelsey Ballerini, they continue to focus on these stories. That's what kind of brought country music together. And it's really sustained the genre, I think, as opposed to like a lot of the male narrated country music now is leaning very close to the line of pop crossover without
bro
those
country.
stories. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's again, it's like really cool because like, have you met anybody like you who's not from the South but is trying to break through in that country world?
I've met a couple from Clive. Actually, my roommate.
Wow, they're just like all
They're
concentrated
just in Clive.
Yeah.
Yeah, my roommate during the school year, she's from Chicago, and she said in the area she grew up, there was actually a lot of country music, so that's different from me because I don't know anyone who listens to country music. But definitely like a more metropolitan area. So there are some of them. They exist.
Yeah, but like I feel like for me, like it just makes more sense than like someone from New York, because I mean,
Yeah.
Illinois
I guess
is still the
Chicago's
Midwest.
considered Midwest, I
You know
guess.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely had to seek it out. I never could have been subjected to
make a
it if
Facebook
I
group.
sought
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
People in the north,
New
who
York,
like,
New York country
just
lovers.
northerners who like country.
There
Yeah.
there are some. I follow a bunch of
Really?
Instagram pages like what's one of them? Like tri-state area country or something like that. I don't know exactly what it's called.
Yeah.
And it's a very small, like they're very small
10
communities,
members.
but they exist.
No, because there's a bar like the Hot Peanuts bar. When you walk up, is this Grand?
The Grand is over there.
So on
Metropolitan.
Ave, right up there, and they have like a live country band that like performs
Oh,
there.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I want to
like,
go.
Yeah, I could like show you where they are because they have like a flyer and everything. And I was like really surprised when I passed by there one night and it's just like country music playing in like New York, like at a bar. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
People are listening.
yeah, people aren't booing.
I know. I mean, I think if people give it a solid chance, they're not going to boo. Like, it's good music.
Yeah.
Just people have such a strong idea from all the stereotypes that they're like, they think they know what it is when in reality that's probably like the very few male narrated country songs who have risen to the top because they're so close to
Yeah.
pop.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
See, that's how I
because
feel about like dubstep, and I just
Yeah.
won't give it any chance.
well, dubstep, bro, that wave passed like at least 5
Or
years
just
ago.
like like EDM.
No,
type shit.
legitimately, ever since the collab between like Skrillex and like Justin Bieber, that was like the last straw for I think dubstep.
So it's smart that I'm not giving it a chance.
No, I mean if you want to be nostalgic, sure, but like I think the
Just like 2012.
Coast that shield, yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say everyone should give every genre a chance,
Yeah.
but if you're gonna give it a chance, make sure you're listening to like the stuff that real
greats, the
fans
hits.
would say
Okay.
are good. Because like, if someone's gonna give country a real chance, I would hate for their real chance to just be like they listen to the radio for 5 songs. Because what's on the radio is not gonna be representative of like the best music
Yeah.
that
I,
came
I,
out.
Because-
I liked Old Town Road.
That's a whole. We could talk about that after.
Yeah, that's another
because,
conversation.
because it was a great crossover hit and stuff like that. But like for me personally, like as a guitarist, I mean guys like Keith Urban. No, guys like Keith. So Keith Urban, Brad Paisley. Those guys. I mean, even beyond like. Based on their guitar skills, they've even risen past the country genre into just being guitar legends
Yeah,
and
like
stuff
great
like that.
musicians.
And like back in the day, I would like listen when I was like first exploring country and stuff like that, or just like music in general. Like I would like play what's it called like a Brad Paisley's Water. Back in the day, so that was a single from like, almost 10 years
Yeah,
ago,
I think
and it was just amazing, just
yeah.
like this like musicianship and just like so like.
Yeah, touching
love
on that,
country,
like,
yeah.
like the only country, like what you call it, thing I ever heard was like, I think it was like Keith Urban thing,
Yeah.
like something that he did with like John Mayer or something.
Oh yeah, probably back
That
back in
shit
like John Mayer's
fucking
country days, right?
slapped, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, country, there's like good and bad in every single genre, so you just gotta like look out for the good. But speaking of which, I think now would be a good time to kind of like show us what you got, if you don't mind. Like you just recently
Sure.
released a single.
I did. So that's my second single. I'm very new to the whole releasing music thing,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just recently released my second single, and my first one was 6 weeks ago.
Oh, so the name of it was 6 weeks ago, or
No.
Oh, the first
Six-
one was released 6 weeks ago.
No, 6 weeks ago I
Yeah.
released my first song.
Okay.
And then last week, 6 days ago, I
Yeah.
released my second song.
Awesome. So which one do you want us to listen to?
I would say take a listen to the newest one, which is called New York 100.
New York 100. All right. And if you wouldn't mind, would you mind playing it for us
Sure.
live?
I'm going to need to retune my guitar.
Yeah, I got a tuner here and everything, so
Got
don't worry
it.
about that.
Let's do
Awesome.
it.
So let's get into it. Boop.
So we'll do that after.
Oh, should we do it?
We should do it after.
That does make sense. So,
now
for the
you have to
power
pretend I
thing-
just played
Yes.
it and it
Oh
was
yeah,
great.
that's good. Okay, let's. I mean,
that was awesome.
do you want to like listen to it for a bit, just to like
Yeah.
get
I
the
mean,
vibe?
I
of it?
listened
Yeah.
to it on the way over here.
Oh, you did? Okay, me too
Yeah.
then. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Abi Rider, and here's my new song, New York 100. Dear New York 100, do you know what you did to me? You made the world look perfect, almost dangerously. No, I'm not talking about your blinds or the side of 129. Those aren't the safest, but they're not the most dangerous. Where you made me collide. Oh, dear New York 100, I fell in love on you. I knew he wasn't perfect, but in the taillight I was fooled, and as soon as I let him go, I turned to you to find my way back home. But dear New York 100, I didn't know if I could trust you anymore. Dear New York 100, do you know how you made me feel? with the Luke Combs song and a hand on my arm. Just me and you and him and the wheels. Oh, didn't you see how easily I could be blinded by reflections in the water at night? The stars in the headlights and the sparkle in his eyes was only a matter of time. Till dear New York 100, I fell in love on you. I knew he wasn't perfect, but in the taillight I was fooled, and as soon as I let him go, I turned to you to find my way back home. But dear New York 100, I didn't know if I could trust you anymore. Looking in the rear view, I can only see you messing things up and testing my luck. I'm not trying to blame you, all I'm trying to say is you look so good it hurt. Yeah, it hurt. When dear New York 100, I fell in love on you. I knew he wasn't perfect, but in the taillight I was fooled, and as soon as I let him go, I turned to you to find my way back home. But dear New York 100, I didn't know if I could trust you anymore.
Hey guys, welcome back to this episode of Sounds Like NYC. And we just finished listening to Abby perform New York 100. And yeah,
It was
do you
great.
want to...
It was right here.
Why you gotta make it awkward? Why you gotta...
On this stage.
Yeah.
Or in another place.
David, on this tiny stage. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Details be coming soon.
Huh?
Details be coming soon.
Yeah.
Details. Later.
Yeah.
Yeah, later. Not today.
Anyway, so thank you for performing. We are so... I don't know what's up with us
Started
today.
again.
Like,
I think...
I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's...
think
yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, it's great.
I
yeah,
think it's us.
But I feel like we're like making it awkward for her, you know?
No, it's not awkward. It's a fun time.
No,
Oh,
it's
also,
like
okay,
I
yeah.
said, fucking manta ray and the little fishies.
So anyway, tell us about kind of like, because I really liked it when I like listened to it before you came here, and just like the lyrical content is like very interesting, and it
Thank
does
you.
tell a story. There's this like obvious narrative, through line through the whole thing. So from what I got from it, it is about kind of like heartbreak, right? Or just
Yeah.
like explain the song to
Explain the
us.
story.
Yeah.
Okay, so the song, how I like to explain it is that there's kind of a love triangle between a girl, a road, and a guy, and it's like it
Never heard that
tells
before.
it tells the I don't know, it tells the story of falling in love on a road and how your attachment to a person kind of gets entangled with your attachment to this place where all of your stories are held, and how revisiting that place can bring back memories.
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, because I guess
Where does a road fit in there? Like, who's beating who up?
Nobody's beating anybody up. It's just
Did you listen to the song,
David?
David?
I know I did. I'm saying, like,
Okay, yeah.
Doesn't that happen with love triangles? Someone beats somebody up?
No, I don't know how.
Am I watching the wrong shit?
I don't know what you're watching, but I've never. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, so like, let's talk. Okay, yeah. So now listening back to that song, or like remembering what I do from that, it does make more sense now. It was just like very interesting because I assumed once I like heard that you're from like the city, that I guess New York 100 is like the highway that kind of like leads to your hometown, or is it just like a random thing that you thought would sound good?
It's a highway that goes through my hometown. It actually runs a pretty long distance. Well, it's like a state route, so I guess it makes sense that it runs a long distance.
Yeah.
I don't know how far south it actually goes. I know it goes past Hartsdale, which is relatively close to the city, but it doesn't make it into the city. I don't know how close it comes.
Okay, I see. Yeah, we have no idea what you're talking about since we don't drive and are from.
Is that in the Bronx?
No.
But as we were talking, actually, before we move to the next topic, like it's really cool because you're so young and you already have like 2 singles, and just the production, value on them are like pretty good for. Do I sound condescending when I say that? Because I'm not a great engineer like at all, but like. You're 19. You already have 2 singles that you released this year.
Basically saying that it feels bad about yourself.
Yes, exactly. This is self-depreciating right now. But like, let's talk about the production that like went into the song.
Yeah.
Like, how did it go from you just with your guitar to you, I guess, getting together with a couple of musicians to like flesh out the full arrangement to the recording and then like mixing of it.
So they were actually 2 very different processes, the 2 songs so far. And I actually plan to release a song every 6 to 8 weeks. I'm trying to say this in as many public settings as possible, so I make myself actually
Watch,
stick to it.
follow her now. Everything.
If you don't hear a
6
song in
weeks,
8 weeks,
put an
you better
alarm
DM me.
Yeah, every 6 weeks,
Put a calendar,
starting today.
calendar schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, I have 2 out right now. Plan to continue. I just turned that off. Oops. Okay. I have 2 songs out right now, and I plan to continue a pretty regular release schedule going forward. But the 2 that are out had very different processes. So should I start with the first one or the second one?
Let's start with 100 since we were talking about it.
So New York 100, I wrote while I was on a midnight drive on New York 100.
Can I stop you there?
Go for it.
I don't know how to drive.
Yeah, we already went over that.
You don't know how to drive.
Yeah.
You know how to drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you both grow up in the city?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why.
Like I feel bad. That made me feel bad.
In my town, I don't know anyone who doesn't drive.
Yeah, it'd be weird, right, living up there and not knowing how to drive.
Yeah.
Again, we should get our license this summer, hopefully. But yes, as you were saying.
Yeah. So I was on a drive, which I do pretty often. On this one, I was with my dog, just for context. Aww. I know. And Siri came on and she said, "Turn left on New York 100." And I was like, New York 100? That's such a pretty sounding road. And I just drove up New York 100 and I was like, we have so many memories like on these roads where we grow up. I mean, I guess in the city, maybe not, but at least for suburban kids. Yeah.
If I wrote a song about the J train, it'd be like the same thing.
My roommate that I was just talking about has a song about the F train. So.
No, let's go over it later, please. Yeah.
So yeah, we have all these memories associated with these places where we grow up, and the chorus came to me within like 20 minutes while I was driving on that road. I stopped at a gas station and pulled out my phone and recorded a voice memo of it. And I went home that night and wrote it down in my journal. And I just looked back at it the other day, and it was word for word exactly how it is now. So I finished the song the next day, I think, and then recorded it the day after that. And at that point, this was in January, 6 months ago. And at that point, I really hadn't considered myself a producer. I mean, I had been studying production, I guess, for years, but it was never my main focus. So I just kind of had this song. I was thinking of it very much as a demo. I was like, this sounds nice. I don't know what I'm ever going to do with it. And my professor listened to it, and he was like, what do you mean you don't know what you're going to do with it? Like, you have all the skills. Like, you're perfectly capable. So then, now's a good time to transfer onto the other song before I come back to this one. So about a month later, or actually not even, 2.5 weeks after that, I was at a friend's house, and another friend was sitting on his floor playing keyboard. All three of us go to Clive. And the one who plays keyboard said to me and my other friend, whichever of you writes a song to this the fastest gets to keep the song, and we'll work on it together.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I wrote something. I still have the voice memo. It's like 3 minutes long. Like I wrote something in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it sounded good, apparently. So we wrote a song out of that. Or he just played piano. I wrote the words and melody. And at that time when I first wrote it, it was very much a sob story. And I was like, I don't want to write another sob story. Like, there are enough stories about sad girls who got their heart broken and don't know what to do with their life anymore. And that's not what I wanted to do. So I very quickly turned it around into an empowering kind of song, which I guess the listeners haven't heard, but it's called On Top. And it's very much a play on words about like power and how you deserve to be treated and stuff. Yeah, highly recommend. Go listen.
So why then did you put that one out first?
That's what I'm getting to. So we recorded that a few days later. I wanted it to be all real instruments, so I got a couple of my friends. That same pianist and then a drummer and a guitarist, we all went into the studio and recorded it together. It sounded great, and it had a really empowering message, and that's why I wanted it to be first, because I knew that if I was going to enter the country music scene, I wanted it to be very clear where I stood within the country music industry, and that I was not going to be another young girl just like sitting back and tolerating the blatant misogyny that's like very rampant. So yeah, I was like, I love country music and I want to keep putting out country music, but I need to make it very clear off the bat. So that's why I put it out first. And then the production on that one, going back to your original question, we had an engineer friend of ours, he engineered the session, and then he kind of started producing it, and then he was like, look, like, this is your song, I want you to play a big role in it as well. So we kind of all got together in the studio and produced it together, and we all played the respective instruments, so we had a pretty good understanding of how to focus in on each of those sounds. And that was kind of the roadmap first experience that I needed to empower myself to produce the next song, New York 100, on my own. So then after that, I was like, okay, I went through this with them. Now I have been encouraged that I'm capable of producing just as much as my peers, because I got this experience of doing it with them. And then New York 100, about 7 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago, it was just after On Top came out, I sat down and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Like, I want to produce this. And that same engineer friend, his name is Jordan, he helped out with some of the mixing in the beginning, and then I took it from there and programmed the bass and the drums.
Oh, no way.
Don't tell anyone, man. It's not real. Yeah.
Oh, man, I thought they were, dude, like, I'm still trying to do my best to, like, program bass and drums.
What is real is I recorded mandolin in the Clive Studios. They have a mandolin there. So I recorded that. I don't play mandolin. I just figured it out enough to do that. And then I bought a harmonica for like $30 on Amazon. I learned how to play it just enough. The package arrived, and then 30 minutes later, I was recording it. So my skills also very limited, but I really wanted to like do this myself, and I had a very specific sound image. There needs to be a word for that, but sound image in my head of what I wanted it to turn out like, and then I recorded all those instruments myself and put it out like a few weeks later.
Bro, like, I didn't know, like, those drums. I mean, probably like listening now. Oh yeah, I'm gonna raise on.
Yeah. So we actually we took the drum samples from a friend, the same friend who played the drums in On Top, we like went into the studio planning to record live drums, and then we got kicked out because we weren't supposed to be there.
Good times.
But anyways, so we got like one take. We hadn't practiced at all. He was like, "Look, like I don't know what that sounds like," and some of it sounded like okay, but we hadn't rehearsed at all.
Just time-align everything. Just time-align. Just
yeah. So I basically just chopped up those samples, and I was like, I can do something with this. Like, it's not trash. Like, we can do something. And then I chopped it up and programmed it in.
Well, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job.
I mean, it sounds like you do a lot of things like off the cuff, sort of like stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it, David.
That's
Have
it.
like a follow
That's the end of the statement.
Yeah, no, it is a statement.
No, it's
Yeah.
like really
I did
cool
state
because
a
again,
statement. It
like
is a
you know, interviewing Sinaida and now interviewing you, I'm like, what the hell was I doing when I was like 18, 19 years old? Because it's really cool seeing how like just how like skilled and driven you guys are.
Thank you.
You know, and I don't know, like it just I guess it inspires me now to kind of like do better and stuff like that. So like,
Oh, that's
no,
so sweet.
yeah, because like both songs like sound like great, especially. Yeah, I mean they sound great, and I'm looking forward to what you're doing next. But
Thanks.
you had like a question for her.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I mean, recently, like on the Sounds Like NYC Instagram, like we decided to sort of do a couple polls to see what the headspace was for like artists, because like what I feel is really interesting is like as upcoming independent artists, like where do you decide like where to put your time and then your money? Because I feel like for me, right, just the way I'm wired, like if I know I have strengths and I know I have weaknesses, I'd rather double down on my strengths and then just bring somebody else on for the ride for like my weaknesses. Like so, like with this podcast, like I wouldn't be able to do it without like Daniel, because I don't know anything about fucking cameras.
hi.
So like I just decided to like who's somebody I know that would be willing to help me for whatever reason. With something like that. So like how do you decide like as an artist where do you go like mentally?
Yeah, that's a really big question that's been on my mind recently. As of now, I have not brought in anyone else on the managerial side. Definitely on the music creation side, Clive has been a huge asset. And honestly, also financially, like, it's ridiculously expensive.
Scholarships. That's what you meant. Oh, okay. So
No, that's not where I was going, unfortunately. No, it's very expensive to go there, but the fact that we have these incredible resources that come along with the education, like I can go to the studio and use all of these instruments, not for free, but as part of my tuition that I'm already paid for.
Because it took me like 2 semesters at least to be able to get into kind of like the main studio. So I went to SUNY Oneonta. You probably like consider it when you like were like applying for colleges.
She didn't know what that was. Right?
Yes, she has no idea what I'm talking about. But like, yeah, so it took me like at least like 2 or 3 semesters to be able to like finally use like the main studio. And just like
if
off
you're
the
gonna
bat.
spend that much money, it'd be kind of dumb just to like do classes and like you know what I mean. Like you
Yeah.
have to use all the resources you
Well,
have, because like why
yeah.
even spend that much money? Just go to
Yeah.
fucking community college.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do get a lot of great resources from there, and especially like our peers are our biggest resource. So I collaborate with them a lot. But in terms of like promoting yourself and getting yourself out there, that's a huge time and money crusher. I mean, there are so many people who like they can record a song in their room or whatever, put it out on SoundCloud, and like that's great, but that only gets you so far, So the promotion and making videos and all these things takes a lot of time and resources. And honestly, like being at NYU and within Tisch, like that's been like the biggest help for me so far, because I don't need to invest in other people as much as I would have otherwise, just because all the students around me are also like looking for projects to work on and people to meet.
Use it up, because
I am.
Oh man, like I mean, and I don't mind paying people, because I think musicians especially should be paid for their time and stuff like that. But just like having to pay people now when
Like the way I look at it is like in the fashion world, like models and photographers, like and makeup artists, like they always like play off of each other. right?
Yeah.
So like I think as independent musicians, like I get what you're saying, but like people want to help like for their selfish like needs also. Like they want to have you be their guinea pig, right? And if you're okay with that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, maybe that's just the extra push that you need because you never know like where, you know, collaboration will lead you.
Yeah.
Anthony
Yeah.
Ray, Little Fishies.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just filmed a music video yesterday with a couple
Ooh.
girls who one of them is in the film school at Tisch, and then one of them is at another film school. But like,
Hook me up.
like for real, like they're all looking for people to practice their skills on as well. So as long as you're willing to like learn together, that like getting yourself into a community like that with other people who are also still learning is a great time and money saver.
So for you, like, what do you feel like would be a better use of your time? Trying to like learn like a whole bunch of different things to like make you be like a one person show, or use that time that you would spend learning, like finding people that would be cool with you, collaborating with them.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely like a lot of aspects that go into being an independent musician. So in that area, like film and photography, that's just not something I've tried to learn it, and it's just I'm not talented at that.
No,
Yeah, so
I wouldn't
fine.
say that, like, cause like sorry. Do you feel like a mansplaining? Because that's like the last thing I want to do.
No,
but I
you
would
can go for it.
because I thought the same, and that like really hindered me because I realized right after I graduated, oh, I want to make a YouTube channel and stuff like that, but there's no one around, and you know what should I do? So that like moment forced me to kind of like get a camera, and even though I thought it was gonna be super hard, same thing, music production and photography, film stuff do have like some like parallels. I would say don't count yourself out because especially I think we were talking about it off
I
like
think
camera.
this is where we differ then.
Yeah,
Like I would much rather spend my time like networking and finding people that would be, you know, helping me with something like that. You
Yeah.
would much rather like try to learn different things.
yeah,
Like for me, like I would do that, but just like the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Focus 100% on my strengths.
Yeah.
And then bring a Daniel.
I'm a
Yeah,
Daniel,
there are other areas like that. For example, like promotion is something I want it to be done in a very specific way. Like at the moment, today and yesterday, I've been learning about Facebook Pixel, and I know nothing about coding. But like that's something that like I want to be in control
You
of
got
my
Snyder
ads.
right there because she did that, right, or does that still?
I don't know if she does like promotional like advertising, but
I think she did that for like her dad's work or something. I think that's
Oh yeah,
don't
that's
know
what.
about
Okay,
that.
yeah.
I think she did more
yeah.
music.
Okay,
But anyways, so that's something that I do learn by myself, which I like has nothing to do with music and otherwise would have had no need to learn, but I would rather learn it myself. I think I wish I leaned more in the way that you do, David, like finding other people to do stuff for you, but like as a young artist, there's not a lot of money for me. Like I don't have a lot of money to like be paying other people to do these things. So like if coding is what I have to learn in order to promote myself and have a shot at success, then sure, I'll learn some
Like I
coding.
said, you'll do like just do the bare minimum. You know what I mean? Just enough to get you by to the
Yeah.
next step.
I mean, it's always a balance.
Yeah.
Like the more promotion you do, how I like to think about it is there are free ways of promotion, such as TikTok, but TikTok is a gamble because like you can put in 100 hours making videos every week, and there's no guarantee that you'll
Honestly,
go
I think
viral.
you're looking at it the wrong way. I feel like just put out content, and that's the only thing you need to be focusing on. Like personally, just fucking see what sticks. Like I'm more of like a quantity versus quality type person because quality is like subjective. Like you don't know what's gonna be good. Like, even like as much as you try to think that you do, you really don't because you're not the audience. You know what I mean? So just keep putting out work that you're proud of, but like just keep putting out as much as you can. You know what I mean? If you could write a song every week, do it.
Yeah. So, but that's not where I was going with that. I mean, I definitely write a song every week. Yes. Make a video every week. I mean, I didn't sign up to be like a comedian
no, I understand
or like
that.
a like a video maker.
Yeah,
So I think that's a pretty different thing. But what I was saying was, there are certain forms of promotion that have guaranteed results, such as like investing in professional advertising. That's something that you're guaranteed a certain amount of people will see it, versus making TikTok videos. There's no guarantee of how many people are going to see it. So I'd rather invest time and money into something that is expensive for both time and money, but has some guarantee of this many people are going to see it. It will definitely increase awareness of my brand by a certain amount. Whereas gambling is just not my thing. And like putting TikTok videos is not something that I enjoy doing. Like, I find it stressful, and there's no guarantee that it's gonna show, like, the algorithm will choose to show my videos
the
to
gods
anyone.
will bless you.
Exactly.
No guarantee that the gods will bless you.
Just find somebody who's like wants to try it out.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? And then that'll cover that part of the thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Just talking on my ass.
No. I mean, I think, both you guys do have like valid points, but it's all definitely up to like the individual. And like with you, I think I resonate more with you just like naturally. We're like both musicians and stuff like that. Because definitely.
Like if I'm gonna put my time into something, I'd rather it be learning to code, and I know that that's gonna give me guaranteed results, instead of making videos, which I don't enjoy, and that's not gonna guarantee results.
Makes complete sense. Yeah. Awesome. I mean, is there like anything else you want to talk about, or like any kind of like shout outs, or like, just sort of, how do you want to end off the podcast?
Oof, I feel like I have so much power. Oof, there we go. How do I want to end it? I don't. There's that's such a decision. I'm so not a decision person. I would end it by saying thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you for coming on.
Of course. It's been great talking to you guys. And if anyone at home is watching, feel free to check me out. All streaming platforms, Abi Rider, Instagram, Abi Rider Music.
How do you spell that?
Abi, A-B-I, Rider, R-I-D-E-R. So both of them have an I.
No, I mean, because it could be like
that's an unusual way.
A-B-B-B-Y or A-B-B-E.
With 3 B's?
No. Oh, did they say 3 B's? Oh, who knows?
A-H-B-I.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
If you're Mormon, sure, I guess. Yeah, because like, do you not know the meme that like Mormon people have like super like okay, I guess that's our time. Oh my god,
That's a really good ending.
Yeah, that was really good, I think.